Hello fellow hunters. With the release of the Great One Pheasant, the community is buzzing with excitement about how to grind these beautiful birds for a chance to spawn a great one. This guide will walk you through everything you need to know before you start your ringneck pheasant grind. Let's dive in. What maps should you choose? The ringneck pheasant can be found on 5 maps: Hirschfelden, Cuatro Colinas, Rancho del Arroyo, New England Mountains, and Salveson Park. This guide will focus on Salveson Park, but many of the tips I share here can translate to the other maps. Why Salveson Park? It's only a third the size of a regular map, meaning less ground to cover to locate their zones. A smaller map also means a smaller population, which is ideal if you want to use herd management during your grind. What time should you start? In order to locate pheasant zones, search during their feed times. Pheasants typically feed in farmers' fields or open fields. When they rest, they prefer the woods or the brush, making them harder to spot. They have a universal feed time across all maps: 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I prefer the 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. time slot because it gives the pheasants time to reach their zones before I start around 6 a.m. However, the 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. slot is also a really good choice that I've seen across the community. Finding zones for pheasants can be difficult since they can be found anywhere on Salveson Park, except for the marshes. I set my time to 6 a.m. and begin by checking the farmers' fields identified by darker areas on the map in the Burenstead area. I've found 1 or 2 zones per field. Focus on the flock zones with 1 or 2 roosters and several hens in the zone. Avoid solo zones as you'll have to rediscover them once you harvest the rooster. For flock zones, place a tent on their need zone indicator to mark a zone you want to rotate on and move on to the next field. Here is a map that highlights the areas you could find a pheasant. This map is provided by ProXCK, and he makes some really awesome map guides. I use his guides anytime I want to know where animals are located. In Rauschen Windfleur, and to the south, circle the hill. The hilltop is mostly wooded, but there are fields all around it, worth checking for zones. To the west and to the north in Florian's Bastion and Sprankelseen, search along the coastal areas. Although marshes don't have zones, traveling along the coast often reveals zones where you can find and place tents. So solo zones, I chose not to shoot solo males. Rediscovering their zones would slow down my grind, as pheasants are small and harder to track. However, I'd make an exception for a rare or a diamond bird if I did see one of those in a solo zone. How to harvest pheasants. To achieve full medal scores, you must flush pheasants first and shoot the rooster mid-air. Shotguns are the best choice for this, as they have a spread on their bird shot. Although the 22 is effective, it is very hard to hit a flying bird with the 22. Interestingly enough, some players have successfully spawned great ones by shooting grounded birds. Grounded birds earn no such score, but they do provide cash and trigger respawns. During my grind, I primarily shot birds that were grounded unless I spooked them or spotted a rare or a diamond. For example, I bagged a leucistic female while she was flying, achieving a full score. Occasionally, what I've noticed is that zones with 2 roosters might respawn with just 1 and vice versa. Don't be surprised by these fluctuations during your grind. I've discovered that there's 2 effective grinding methods to grind for the Great One Pheasant: the ambush and the sniper method. I used a hybrid of both, but you can stick with one if you prefer. The ambush method is very easy. Place your tent close to the pheasant zone. When you fast travel in, the birds won't spook immediately, allowing you to walk into your waterfowl blind and take out the roosters. Be cautious with shotguns as you might hit some hens, which could increase hunting pressure. The sniper method, you can place your tents 225 to 250 meters from the zone. For zones with good visibility like an open field or the coastal areas, you can run into about 175 meters, walk to the 150 meters to your waterfowl blind, zero your 22 to 150 meters, and take precise shots. This method minimizes spooking and helps control hunting pressure. If you spot a rare or a diamond, then you can just approach the flock, flush the birds, and shoot them mid-air for full score using your shotgun. How many zones that you rotate on will affect your grind. I rotate through 10 zones, placing tents at each. Rotating ensures consistent respawns as shooting pushes the game to spawn the new birds. I find that if you don't shoot at least 10 birds, the respawns are a bit slower. It's almost like you have to fill the respawn bucket before the game pours you the respawns you've worked so hard towards. After cycling through your zones, reset the time and return to the first zone to continue grinding. So I usually set my time when I'm actually rotating at 7 a.m., 1 hour before the feed zone ends. This ensures that the flocks are already in their zones. I rotate until 8 a.m., then I reset back to 7 a.m., always returning to the main menu periodically to reset the map and calm the spooked birds. If you don't go to the main menu, sometimes the birds don't come back because they're spooked. And also pick up all your harvest. Leaving them risks preventing great ones to respawn as per Expansive Worlds. As for hunting pressure, avoid shooting more than 3 birds in one zone without relieving pressure elsewhere on the map, or you risk deleting the zone. Deleting your zone, you have to go and refine them, which slows down your grind. Using waterfowl blinds prevents this and is more cost effective than tripods, as waterfowl blinds only cost $8,000 of in-game currency. They are also one of the few blinds you can place directly outside your tent's entrance, which means you can leave your tent and jump right into the waterfowl blind. You can find waterfowl blinds in the Duck and Cover Pack DLC if you don't already have them. Bird management, or as I like to call it, flock management when dealing with pheasants, is simple. It just involves shooting all level 2s and 3s while leaving the level 1 roosters on your map. This strategy works best if you want to rotate on all the flock zones as opposed to the 10 main zones that I'm doing in my current grind. Why am I not using herd management yet comes from a few observations that may be important for you in deciding if you want to use herd management during your grind or not. From the Great One Pheasants that I have seen harvested by the community, it is their track estimates that are the same as a diamond. You get the 2 to 3 kg weight estimate, so unless you have a disturbed vegetation skill to see their fur color, you may not know you have a Great One Pheasant on your map by just looking at bigger tracks like it is with other species. Why I feel this is important is that there isn't as much of a weight difference from a max weight diamond and a Great One Pheasant, which isn't the case for deer or moose as an example. Also for Scarecrow, he spawned 3 Great Ones without using herd management. His first grind was 700 harvest. His next 2 Great Ones both came in less than 200 harvests each. I've seen others in the community with Great One Pheasants in less than 500 harvests as well. So, no different weight estimate and short community grinds as a whole leads me to believe that herd managing may not affect the Great One Pheasant as much as it does for fallow deer as an example. So I'll start my grind without using herd management, but that could change as things progress during the grind. Just remember to have fun in your grind and grind the way that you choose. And if you are feeling burnt out from it, take a break and then come back. It's always going to be there for you to come back and try to get that Great One Pheasant. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And for more Call to Wild content, subscribe to the channel. As always, fellow hunters, happy hunting.